You are looking at Indianapolis Metropolitan Airport, established in 1962 as a municipal corporation by the Indiana General Assembly, now part of the Indianapolis International Airport System, operated by the Airport Authority. Nearly 150 small planes take off and land each day. Well, welcome back to this special edition of Inside Indiana Business, a Fishers Town Hall powered by Pacer Sports and Entertainment. We're coming to you this week from the Indiana Internet of Things Lab in Fishers, one of the nation's first public-private IoT labs. You know, Fishers has received a lot of high marks in quality of life surveys, best places to live in America, America's friendliest towns, 10 best towns for families, just to name a few. For the last decade, young families have been flocking to this Indianapolis suburb for its affordable housing, safe neighborhoods, low taxes, and schools. Annexation and the emerging I-69 corridor have been major factors in transforming the housing community and giving consumers here more options. For more on the Fishers housing market, let's turn now to Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Indiana Realty Manager and Broker Greg Cooper. As always, Greg, welcome to the program.
Great to be here.
All right, let's talk about the evolve. We talk about how Fishers continues to evolve. How about the housing market? How did it begin many years ago when Fishers was a kind of a small, sleepy little town?
Couldn't have been more perfectly described as a bedroom community 25 years ago, and I think the mindset among a lot of Fishers leaders at that point was that the housing market was going to be very altruistic. They wanted it to be affordable. They wanted young families to be able to come and get their start here, and it worked beautifully. And as Fishers has grown, annexation has taken place, leaders have had more vision, the I-69 corridor has grown, Geist Reservoir has evolved to the west, so it incorporates more and more neighborhoods into Fishers proper. All of it has grown into an incredibly diverse and popular place to live.
How about the increase in the influx of retail, of business, of corporate investment, those types of things in the community?
You know, absolutely, no doubt when you have the entities like IKEA and Topgolf, but even in the Nickel Plate District, which we saw begin to evolve 10 or 15 years ago, now you have places, and you have maybe a little bit more of a heart, of a core, of a center, if you can call it that. So it's a place where people are drawn to, not only to come and be entertained and enjoy their leisure time, but in many cases for people to live close to be able to walk to as well.
Talk generally about pricing and housing options and those types of things and how they have evolved as Fishers has grown.
You know, Fishers really started out at the corner of 116th and Allisonville, unofficially, of course, but I think that's where we saw a lot of the early development begin, both in terms of housing and some of the commercial entities and things of that nature, and it has spread in a lot of different directions.
All right, let's talk about what you can buy, what folks can buy.
Sure.
In Fishers for the price. And we start out in that maybe $175,000 to $250,000 range.
You know, for the history of Fishers, I'm not sure there's a more iconic neighborhood than Sunblest Farms. I mean, most of us just know it as Sunblest, but that was one of the first neighborhoods, and not only because of its affordability, but because of its size. It was a new home development, obviously, when it was first originated. Families flocked there, and they still do today. It's so convenient to get so many different places, and yet as you live in the neighborhood, you're back off the main arteries of traffic, you have convenience of life, but you don't have to put up with a lot of really intense urban living right next to you.
All right, we bump up to Avalon of Fishers, right?
Yeah, a neighborhood out east of I-69, one that's grown in the last 10 to 12 years, 600-700 houses at last count in Avalon. It's a little different price point. They might run $275,000 to $350,000 and a little bit beyond in either direction in Avalon of Fishers, but it was a different type of Sunblest. It was kind of a next generation Sunblest built some 20 to 25 years after the fact that just exploded and filled out very quickly as well.
I think we move on to Anderson Hall.
Anderson Hall is also a neighborhood out there east of 69, north of that 126th Street area, and Anderson Hall has newer homes even yet. It's a neighborhood that has continued to evolve in kind of Fishers' model, if you will. They've given people more choices. The homes are a little bit more expensive, but if you came to Fishers and lived in Sunblest Farms, Anderson Hall might be a great place for you to find your next home.
And then we wrap up on the upper end with Cambridge.
Yeah, a lot of people think of Cambridge as being an East Geist or a neighborhood, but it really, I think, is identified heavily with Fishers. But that's one of those neighborhoods that was really, really big in terms of the number of houses that are there. It was kind of a Geist Reservoir location for a lot of people. Not all the houses obviously are on the water, but it was very iconic in its recognition by a lot of people across Fishers and across the entire region.
Greg Cooper, thank you very much as always for some great perspective.
Great to be here.
All right.